Hello, my name is Carter, and thank you for coming to my presentation. Today I'll be presenting for business ethics on my interview with Mr. Rick Van Beusekom, who works at Ecolab. So a little bit about my connection to Mr. Van Beusekom. He's the father of my friend Matthew Van Beusekom. Matt's pictured, he's the one on the left, and Mr. Van Beusekom is the one on the right. Mr. Van Beusekom serves as a senior finance manager in commercial contracts at Ecolab. And his background in education comes from an accounting major at St. Cloud State University, and he got his MBA at St. Thomas. One of the things that Mr. Van Beusekom was really clear to point out was how much he valued his experience at both St. Cloud State and St. Thomas. There are places that really challenged him to really show his faith and prepare for his time in the business world, where it's really going to be quite secular, especially at Ecolab. And those are two places where he really had to kind of learn that, and things that he really valued as he spent time in college and working towards eventually moving into the business world. So a little bit of an overview on Ecolab. Ecolab, according to their website, is, quote, the global leader in water, hygiene, and infection prevention solutions and services that protect people and vital resources. So really, some of the key things they focus on is food safety, maintaining clean environments, and achieving sustainability goals. So one thing I know them specifically for is hand sanitizer and soap dispensers, but they also provide a lot of different cleaning products and different solutions to a variety of kind of health needs. Most specifically about Mr. Van Beusekom's job, it was really interesting to learn about that as a finance major, just getting a little bit of insight on some of his purchasing and contracts experience. So he's worked at Ecolab for about his whole life, and he's served in 13 different roles in 10 different departments. And that was really interesting to hear, just about how much he's moved around and how much he's learned in that time. Currently, he, as a senior finance manager working in commercial contracts, he negotiates commercial contracts with companies and really focuses with restaurants and hospitality industries, and kind of provides them with some more long-term contracts, looking at getting them some of these cleaning products, some of the hand sanitizers, and just different things like that. Some of the key companies that he's provided this for is a company called Avendra, and other ones that we probably know of are the Marriott Hotels, Hyatt Hotels, and Darden Restaurants. Olive Garden is one of the restaurants under that parent organization. And some of the contracts that he puts together and helps negotiate usually range from a minimum of 3 months upwards to 5 years, and obviously working with the renewals of those contracts as well. And some of these contracts are kind of a really big part of Ecolab's revenue. And so actually he was, as I interviewed with him, working on a really big one right now that he was actually in contact with the CFO and CEO for approval and guidance. And that was something that was really interesting, just hearing how closely he works with some of the senior executives right now. And he's gotten a pretty good look at what the company values are and what his specific goals and objectives for Ecolab are. And that was really interesting to see, and really kind of easy to see because he works so closely with the CFO and CEO. Some of the things that they value in terms of ethics and integrity as well. And speaking of that, that was kind of a big portion of some of our interview as well. He talked a lot about Ecolab's ethics and integrity as well as his own. And that was something he really wanted to point out, was how great Ecolab is as well. While they're not perfect in relation to most businesses, he found them to be one of the most ethical. He even pointed out, and I found on their website as well, that they were awarded by Ethisphere the title of one of the world's most ethical companies for the 14th consecutive year. And that was something that he really valued, and I see now as really valuable. There's about a little over 100 companies worldwide on this list, and for Ecolab to make that for 14 years is really impressive. Not only is Ecolab highly ethical, but he himself is really known for his integrity and ethics at Ecolab, something that he's speaks of humbly but is really proud of. he earned the nickname Boy Scout pretty early on in his career, and that's kind of stuck with him just for being high on integrity and ethics. Specifically, he's spoken onto some of the contracts he's been working on, and kind of some of how ethics works into that is some gray areas in these contracts, specifically in terms of reimbursements that they owe some of these companies as a result. Sometimes these contracts are a little bit difficult where they overestimate how much they're going to send the companies, and different kind of benchmarks that these companies can reach to earn reimbursements. And oftentimes these companies won't recognize that they're owed a reimbursement. And that's something that, while it's not ideal for, Ecolab's bottom line, by sending them these reimbursements for often, pretty large sums of money, really proves his ethics and integrity in that. And one of the things he actually mentioned was that people will come to him specifically for advice and suggestions just on their own ethical situations that they come into. And one of the things that he was very clear on was that Ecolab specifically never put him in a situation where his ethics and integrity were challenged. And that just kind of speaks for him on how ethical Ecolab is as a whole. Kind of some of the biggest things that I took from this interview were just some of his personal suggestions as to, what to look for in a company. Every company is going to be unique and have their own ethics and integrity and really what they value in employees as well. I conducted this interview with him at about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night when he said he'd be free. And actually, he had us push back the interview time by about a half an hour because he had just gotten home and he wanted to eat dinner. And one of the things that he said specifically about Ecolab is that they really value hard work, and that, it's not foreign for him to put in some long hours, and that's something they really value. And that's something kind of specific to each company that, different, what they value in an employee, whether that's a good work-life balance or what they really require is dedication. And those are some things that sometimes as a, college student, I forget is that, each company is going to be a little bit different. And talking to him, he actually had what I see as a little bit of an old school mindset, which I actually really enjoy and really value. And some of his, suggestions to me were just to, work hard, do what you're told, and even go above and beyond some of the expectations. And, I really respect that. And I think those are things that I definitely plan to do as I move forward in my career. He also just mentioned to kind of stand firm in what you believe in. And I think I definitely see that in him and in his career. He wasn't about to, brown nose, or as he said, and really cheat anything or really compromise anything on what he believed in order to get a promotion or anything. And, those promotions eventually came, and things that he was glad for it, that he stuck to what he believed, and eventually people really came to appreciate. So thank you. Here's my works cited, just a couple things I pulled together, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my presentation. Thank you.